Most of my friends were fucking nerds, and like my stepsister Sammy, you know, she was definitely a huge nerd and into like fan fiction and stuff, but not just reading fan fiction, writing fan fiction.
Would she do like the erotic fan or erotic friend fiction?
I hope she never wrote anything about.
She didn't Tina Belcher it up.
I don't think so, but I think she did write some erotic fan fiction, probably Sailor Moon fan fiction or something like that.
Tuxedo.
I tried my hand at it once or twice. I had one that was about, it was Inuyasha themed.
Oh no.
And it involved, God, it's been so long. It involved the little flea guy. I can't remember his name.
I can't either right off the top of my head, but I know who you're talking about. The little old man flea guy.
Yeah, he falls asleep on like a rock or something, and then Kagome, the main chick, comes and like sits on the rock, and he just like goes floop, right up her cooch. And
So he's just kind of chilling in there.
And then he wakes up and he's like, I'm in a vagina. But yeah, there was that. And then I wrote one, well, I started one about True Blood.
Oh, no.
Remember the guy who would shapeshift into a dog?
Yeah. It was Sam.
Yeah. So it was about his time, like, you know, in the war or whatever. He meets like a djinn and they start like a gay fuck fest and everything. Yeah, but then I never really went too far with that. But that was my only foray into it. I mean, they were writing like chapters and chapters and chapters of like multiple stories. So.
I mean, we'd like draw stupid pictures of each other as superheroes to like fuck with each other, you know.
We would draw pictures of each other as like Sailor Moon characters and shit.
Yeah, but it'd be like Wolverine with his dick hanging out, and like, or he'd have dicks for claws.
Okay,
you know, like that kind of shit.
The Senshi never had their dicks hanging out, unfortunately.
Well, that's because my friends and I are fucking scumbags, especially whenever we were teenagers. We were really bad. Essentially, the only kind of art or any time we would write anything to each other was mostly just to talk shit and just... Those guys that live at the Skull House, that's like my brother and my bandmates, and we all like grew up together, and you know, we've been, I still hang out with those motherfuckers.
So this was like well into adulthood.
Yes. And so it's been decades that we've been just talking massive shit to each other, and it just gets more creative as the years go by. So I think like So you're the one writing the erotic friend fiction. Kind of. Well, I mean... So basically what it really boils down to is having something good to talk shit to each other about, you know, playing video games. Because those guys were always playing football or fucking hockey, basketball. You gotta throw them off their game. Yeah. They would come up with the most, like, elaborate shit over the course of years. And they just kind of wove this tapestry of fucking legends about each other. Some of it true, some of it bullshit. But no, it's... And they only bring it up whenever they're trying to fuck with each other, which is a lot. And whenever they're trying to just knock each other off their game. So, like they were mythologizing their own friend group. Yes. As a means of psychological warfare. Yes, exactly. And they would get really creative with it. I mean, super creative. I feel like one of the more innocuous ones, this is for some stupid reason, the only one that I could really remember was the sex tape. And, okay. Yeah, so it was one of the guys that lived there, you know, had someone over and they were, you know, getting it on in the back room, but there was a huge party going on at the same time. There was like a shit ton of people there. And one of the other guys, let's just call him Primetime for the sake of levity. So Primetime has this fucking video camera. He's like, yeah, dude, check out what I got. And he's like, you know, filming the party and everyone's, you know, acting stupid for the camera. Great name for a guy with a video camera. Go on. He goes outside and there's a whole bunch of people. Yeah, dude, blah, blah, blah. And so he turns back toward the house with the camera and there's an open window and what's going on? The roommate's standing there getting a blowjob, but she's upside down with her legs, you know, like dangling in the air. And so, you know, he's standing there getting an upside down blowjob. Whoa! On film, you know, and he's like, dude, zooming in and fucking, that's pretty much all it was. Setting the record straight. That's all it was an upside down blowjob. But this was the story that someone made up about
that person?
No, this really happened.
Oh,
no,
so the upside down blowjob was a real event.
Yes, the upside down blowjob really happened. But what didn't happen was the other list of depraved sex acts that everyone always says is on the sex tape. So, like, they'd be, like, keep in mind, like, 10 years later, they're at a party, and, you know, so, like, that roommate's, like, hitting on somebody, you know, and so it's like, hey, remember that sex tape? And then someone else across the room is like, oh, yeah, you mean the one with the fucking piss and the Fago and the fucking, like, you know, leather straps and shit? Oh, yeah, oh, and the upside-down acrobatic blowjob? I remember that shit, dude! And then the person that he's trying to hit on is just kind of, what the fuck? So they did that to each other all the time, but it got to its pinnacle while they were playing video games. That's when you would hear the most wild fucking shit that they could like throw at each other like lightning bolts, and they would get mad about it too. They would get mad, and my brother would come up to me and tell me, he's like, you know what, I was gonna say this, but I didn't. I held off. That's ammo for a later day. And I was like, so they would really like craft these. It just got way out of hand, and it got way personal sometimes. But.
Wait, was this how they came up with that whole story about you, like, moving to Texas and getting into CrossFit and shit and becoming all, like, buff and fucking skinny?
That's because, that didn't happen. I mean, I did lose weight, but I didn't get, like, what my brother said. So people would ask my brother, hey, what's going on? Where's Matt? So they would never ask how he was. You know, he would see someone that we grew up with out in town or whatever. Yeah. And instead of being, oh, hey, Tommy, how's it going? They'd be like, oh, hey, Tom, where's Matt? And it just made him so mad. He's like, what the fuck? What am I, chopped liver? Aww. So he just started making up weird stories about me. And then just, because it's people that we knew that we haven't seen in like 10 or 15 years. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know you. Where's your brother? And they're like, what the fuck? And they have Facebook, you know, they could easily look. But yeah, he's just sitting there bullshitting them over and over again. But that was, you know, one of the more innocuous ones. One of the ones that I had for my friend Aaron that I never, till the day he passed away, I would bring this up any fucking where, that he had a purple penis. Because one time, it was just this one time whenever we were in 10th grade and like, you know, we were getting drunk and I ran into the room because he had the cigarettes and he was in there getting it on with someone. I was just all I'm doing is grabbing the smokes and the light was on. Who
does it with the lights on?
I was about to say, I'm all Barry White. I was going to turn those lights off, you know, but no, he was in there with the lights on and there's his like big throbbing fucking schlong just chilling. So I always told everyone that it looked purple. So I just kept telling him, Aaron's got a purple penis. And I just kept telling everybody, like, all throughout. He's like, man, what the fuck? Why do you keep telling people that? I'm like, because you do. I seen it. I mean, he really didn't, but I mean, I just ran with it and I maintained it. Like, I just never denied it. I'm only denying it now, you know, since he's passed on. But no, up until then, no, it was always he had a purple penis, and I would never change my story. My name is Matt, and I am missing 3 of my wisdom teeth and 1 molar.
My name is Sabrina, and I am missing all 4 wisdom teeth, 4 molars, 2 extra canine teeth. What are those called?
Cuspids?
Sure, 2 extra cuspids that started growing in my mouth for some reason. And then 2 of my, whatever that tooth is between those and the 2 front teeth.
Secondary incisors.
Yeah, both of those.
That's why you have vampire teeth.
Exactly. They took them away for some reason. I got a really fucked up grill.
I like it.
Thanks. Anyway.
And this is Sumo Punx.
We've spent a lot of time at the dentist recently, haven't we?
We have. I got a filling.
We finally have dental insurance. So we are actually being joined by Mika from World of Sumo and the Rain City Sumo Club up in Seattle, Washington, to help us cover day 1 through 9 of the Aki Basho. But before we get into that, let's do a quick run through of the upcoming events.
September the 23rd, the Beer City Sumo Open, hosted by Grand Rapids Sumo Club. Registration's $50. This is going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can find more information on the internet. October 7th and 8th, World Sumo Championships in Tokyo, Japan. You could probably find a live stream somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
I'm hoping. October 21st through 23rd, the World Combat Games in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Seriously, support the athletes. American athletes are going over there. Fucking show them support, cheer them on, scream at the TV. It's going to be awesome. November 3rd through 4th, Sumo Dan's Olympia Sumo Championship. Happening at the Mr. Olympia Fitness Expo in Orlando, Florida. Weigh-ins are on November 1st and the 2nd. The tournament itself is on the 3rd and the 4th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. November 18th, the Midwest Sumo Open, hosted by Ohio Sumo. Saturday, November 18th, noon to 4 local time. This is in Bloomington, Indiana. Competitor sign-up is at indiana.ohio.sumo@gmail.com, and Ohio is spelled O-H-A-Y-O. December 16th through 17th, the Texas Classic Sumo Tournament, hosted by Shogeki Sumo. More info will be rolled out as it becomes available. Live stream and commentary by
me.
And as always, if you want to track all upcoming events, please check out sumo411.com, maintained by Kellyanne Ball. Check it out.
All right. Who do we have with us today?
We have one of the wizards of the world of sumo.
Yeah.
One of the mean sumotori of the Pacific Northwest. I can't say Pacific Northwest.
It's multiple norths and wests. We have Mika Grimmer with us today on the show from World of Sumo, as Matt just mentioned, which is one of the best sumo video formats that we have probably ever seen.
Probably the best on the YouTube as far as, sumo informational videos go.
Exactly. And part of that is, of course, the illustrious Scott Findlay, whom everyone loves and adores, and I was not paid to say that. How you doing today, Mika?
I'm doing great. I'm absolutely excited to be here with both of you.
Hell yeah. Oh, and you're also part of Rain City Sumo.
Oh, did I forget to mention that?
Yes.
Well, I got tripped up on trying to say Pacific Northwest.
Trying to remember your cardinal directions.
I know.
Rain City Sumo up in Seattle. How long have you been a member of that club?
I'd say just about over a year.
Oh,
yeah, it was August last year that I started with them.
And then you've actually participated in a couple of tournaments recently, right?
Just the one so far, and
one.
that would be Scott Finley's Scottish Open.
Yes, that's a big tournament for your first one, to go all the way out to Scotland just for your first sumo tournament. And how did you do in that tournament?
I didn't win a single match, because I'll tell you what, I am a heavyweight because I am over 176 pounds.
Girl, me too. Ain't no shame.
Yeah, no, but I'll tell you what, the Polish women are amazing.
Oh.
And I was one of the ladies who's over 400 pounds and about 6 feet tall, and I'm 5'3" when I'm pretending that I'm tall, and 225 pounds. I was swatted down like a fly.
Oh,
but you know what?
Man, those girls are mean. Those Polish girls. I really first started noticing just how brutal they were during the World Games. They take sumo seriously in Poland, for sure.
They do, but that's in the ring. Afterwards, like at the after party, they're the nicest competitors.
Nice.
So.
Well,
like,
that's great
in the
to
ring,
hear.
all business. They're going to kick your butt. But then they're offering you Jaeger shots. And then you're like, oh man, I haven't done this in I don't want to say how many years. Yummy.
Yeah, I saw Scott actually had where he was posting pictures whenever he went to the European Sumo Championships, like in Poland, and I saw that the Polish actually have these crazy banners. They're like these awesome, huge banners with all of these like really well made graphics, and there's like flames and like mean looking sumotori in the shadows, you know, looking like they're about to strike.
Yes.
And it's like, man, they
They're
really.
epic.
They take it seriously over there, and I really wish, you know, we could get that kind of seriousness in the States.
Well, what's it like being a member of Rain City Sumo? Or are there a lot of people up in Seattle who are interested in it or know about sumo, really?
Kind of half and half. So Seattle is really lucky. So we actually have a former sumo wrestler who lives in the Seattle area.
Really?
And so, yes, yeah, that's Bobby. And so he's about 65 now, but he went to Japan when he's a Japanese American, went to Japan when he was 15, did sumo for 10 years, then became a sushi chef. Then eventually moved back here. He had a sushi restaurant. And so, like, people know about Bobby. They're like, oh, Bobby. And so we're lucky. Sometimes he'll come out and, like, actually help us in our training and give us suggestions. The answer is almost always otsuke. Like, that's just, you always hear him shouting that. Like, that's... Any questions about how to do sumo? The answer is otsuke.
Otsuke. Yeah, I noticed that too. A lot of Americans, the way that we like to do sumo, there's not a whole lot of, you know, oshi push thrust specialists. There's a lot of belt work. And so, the otsuke really comes in handy to, you know, really, mitigate them being able to just hoist you up and drive you out. That's Justin Kizzard actually like really emphasized
Dark Circle Sumo Club in Austin. Yeah, Justin.
Whenever who's the guy that I see that there's a dude that's wearing a rash guard, and I think is he the main coach Oyakata guy?
Yeah, who's that dude?
We have a couple. A lot of our guys actually are rash guards, so that's not a big eliminator, but like kind of a big bear like looking guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That would be Nick, one of the Oyakata. His Shikona is Okuma, so big bear.
Nice.
Then our other we have two Oyakata. The second one is Steve Amakurasu, and that's like Galaxy Crow or Heavenly Crow, that kind of idea.
Whoa.
And so he's a smaller guy, and but with his technique, he can take down our heavyweights. So like.
Oh, I love those lightweights. They just, I don't know. Yeah. Matt says it all the time, and I'm inclined to agree. Lightweight sumo is just a completely different game. Like,
and just like, I mean, you'll notice even a lot of the bigger dudes, you know, are pretty fast and pretty agile, you know, for big dudes. But these lightweights are just like, woo, 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 woo. I love watching that. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you're, you said his name's Nick, right? And is
Nick
he
is
the one?
Big Oyakata.
Okay, is he the one who is the? I think Matt told me he's like a judo or jujitsu guy, or am I thinking of somebody else completely?
That may have been the description of Steve, the smaller of the two Oyakata.
Ah, okay.
So he's the technique guy.
Yes, he is.
Gotcha.
He is extremely skilled in different techniques.
Nice. Yeah, in Dallas, you know, we have Jared Tadlock. You know, that's our technique guy. So
Jared
I
Tadlock,
got to
the
meet
2022 Texas champion.
Oh, heck yeah. I got to meet a few of your Dallas people in Scotland, so I got to hang out with Hayden and, of course, Caitlin Jones. And we got to do a super top secret practice after Team Norway did theirs. It was a few of the Americans and a few of the Scottish people, and so I actually got to do a few bouts with Caitlin, and that was so much fun because she fights complete. So my club really only has one other woman, and she is the feistiest 5 foot even woman you will ever meet. like 180-ish pounds and like 5 foot even. And you know what? She's an Oshi specialist, and she is powerful. But fighting Caitlin, it's like, oh wait, you have reach. Oh, this is different. A new puzzle. I'm so excited.
Caitlin's she could be rough too. She was fighting Kellyanne Ball. Like one of my favorite pictures is she comes up off the tachiai with that hakuho forearm shiver, and Kellyanne's face is like,
Yes, I've seen that photo. That is epic.
I love that photo so much. Yeah, we call her Lady Hakuho, around here just because she's so brutal when she fights.
She is. Yeah, she is. And even like in the pre-training, like we don't want to hurt ourselves right before the tournament because we all just traveled from America all the way over to Scotland. Like there were times we'd get locked up and like, oh shit, she's a middleweight and I'm a heavyweight, and she has so much upper body strength, even though those arms do not look like they possess that.
She lives. She's a power lifter, right? Yeah, she's a power lifter.
Yeah, it's deceptive because
it shows.
Yeah, whenever she's kind of locked up, like doing sumo, you're like, oh yeah, she definitely looks strong. But when she like poses and flex, it's just like,
yeah.
Oh, I can believe it. I can believe it.
But I fight her sometimes too. I'm like, you want to fight Caitlin? She's like, yeah.
Love it.
But you do World of Sumo, with Scott.
Yes.
So I know he kind of put things on hold whenever, the tournament was going on, so we could kind of make sure to organize everything. So, what kind of duties, do you do with World of Sumo?
So it really evolves from time to time. So, gosh, during the pandemic, we started doing the news. So that's like 80 episodes in now. But like we started that because there are certain unnamed YouTubers that would put lots of their own personal thoughts onto the Rikishi. And we're like, we can't. No, let's just translate the news. And then we started off with, I would do the audio. And then I got really busy. And then from the beginning, I was like, Scott, you should do the audio. You have so much personality in the way you speak, and just you are the hype man. Eventually he agreed, and so then he took over the audio.
I think he told us that when we interviewed him. That was earlier this year, right?
Yeah. No, it was last year.
Yeah. Oh, last year. Okay. Yeah, he was like, he didn't want to do it at first, but then, like, you convinced him, and now everybody's just like, oh, Scott Finley, you have to listen to his accent. It's so sexy.
It's true. Yeah, so, like I said, it evolved. So, like, I took a back seat for a while, and I just started gathering the news and translating it, because he doesn't have any Japanese, and I have intermediate Japanese. I won't say that, like, I am magically fluent, but, like, I can read and translate, and I get lost, of course, and then I'm messaging my Japanese friends who are into sumo. I was like, hey, wait, what does this mean? I don't know. But so I do a lot of that. And so just recently, after coming back from Scotland, we realized we need to reassess what we're doing, because now he's part of the British Sumo Union. Like, he's vice president of that, plus the head of Scottish Sumo. Wow. And he's like, and a granddad.
Yeah,
so like,
I saw.
I can't. Yeah, it's like, I can't do everything. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll work on it. And so if you check Roll of Sumo, we're just starting to come out with more videos. I had to compilate, let's see, from June till now, all of the important news. And so there will be a giant video, I think, coming out. We're still deciding on what we're doing there, but that was like 15 pages of news, and I'm like, I mean, that includes like links to videos, but like, I'm like, good luck. But yeah, so you will be hearing me more on World of Sumo soon, but we're still kind of just figuring things out, because of course, he did the Sumo Open in Scotland, and then like a month later took his team over to Poland, right?
Yeah.
So hasn't had a lot of downtime.
Yeah, I'll bet. Especially with the new grandkid. Like, how old is Scott Finley? Like 25? He's too young to be a granddaddy.
I mean, they're a little older, but yes, he is. He's going to be the coolest grandpa ever.
I know, right?
Hopefully the kid loves sumo, because he's going to be doing Chico by the time he's 3.
Right.
So.
He might actually be wearing the tartan mawashi in the Makuuchi division when he's older.
Well, you guys do excellent coverage of the Bashos, and that's actually what we're here for today, is to talk about the first week of the Aki Basho going on right now here in September. So we're actually going to go ahead and start with day 4, because day 1 through 3 were fucking boring. First notable bout that I saw in day 4 was Takayasu versus Hiradaumi. So Takayasu actually seemed to have flipped some sort of switch into aggro mode, turning Hiradaumi's head into an open palm punching bag before shoving him out from behind like Hiradaumi was just some unruly drunken frat boy at the bar or some shit.
Yeah, Takayasu, to me, I think he's been, he's definitely one of the ones on the upswing, currently on the leaderboard. But for me, it's like there's some tournaments he's hot, some tournaments he's cold. This is definitely one where he is on
hot
fire.
Tournament.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a hot man in a hot tournament.
Absolutely. And I mean, the unfortunate thing with Takayasu is one of his nicknames, Chokayasu.
Oh.
And so we will see in the next couple days. Well, honestly, we'll see tonight. For day, what day are we on?
Tonight's gonna be day 10.
Okay, for tonight, because they're doing Atamifuji, the other co-leader, versus Takayasu. So we're going to see a tiebreaker for that today, and that will very much shape the yusho race.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I wish we could include it in this episode.
I know, right? But Takayasu is looking hot this Basho. Usually, when he's looking great during the pre-Basho, training updates, I'm always worried. He's okay, yeah, he did so great there and there and there. Is he going to have any energy left?
Yeah,
right.
And we've definitely seen a couple tournaments ago where he tore something in his leg the day of the tournament, and it's just
yeah, so if he does really well in week 1, then there is always a chance that he's going to lose steam in week 2. Or even if he does maintain steam during both weeks, it'll be the last day he can't get over that last little hurdle, whatever it is, And you're right, we have seen it happen over and over and over again. So we'll see.
The most memorable that I remember of those is Wakataka Kage.
Oh god, do we have to bring it up?
Yes. that did hurt. I really wish that Takayasu can take one Emperor's Cup at least before he decides
just one.
Yeah.
Just one, and then let the man retire.
I would love to just see him all stoked, holding the cup, wearing his haori in the car, and holding the fish, and, just be like, fuck yeah, Papa Bear, you do the thing.
With his mom, screaming from the sidelines.
I love his mom.
Honestly, I was imagining his mom, holding him up single-handedly. He's a true mama bear, so I could just see it happening.
That's my baby!
All right.
You want to tell us about the next notable bout from day 4?
So, next notable bout on day 4 was Shodai versus Hoshoryu. Alright, so Haas charged at Shodai with the flurry of Notawas, but Shodai was able to absorb his attack. He then got a right overhand grip on Shodai's Mawashi, but Shodai, with some fancy footwork at the Tawara, was able to break Hoshoryu's grip and shove him forward, causing him to tumble to the clay. Is Haas feeling that ozeki anxiety? Or is Shodai finally regaining his stride?
Well, you know what I'd like to think is that Shodai is the superior Rikishi all around. That will never do wrong in my eyes, at least. No matter what Justin Kizzard says.
But honestly, I think Hoshoryu, I've heard talks of ozeki hangover.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too.
Because he's got all these appearances. He's got to go hang out with a lot of his, his benefactors, his supporting clubs, and then he's partying with these guys. Do you know if he had his ozeki promotion party yet?
I haven't seen anything on that, actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen any media coverage about it. But if he had, he probably drank enough to, kill several tanks full of goldfish.
Probably.
So.
Not only that, but think about how hard, he had to work to even get to ozeki. He's probably got a little bit of, a hangover from that, I guess you can say. Having to maintain that momentum isn't always easy.
And then sometimes whenever you do reach that, you just kind of want to chill for a second and be like,
exactly.
Okay, but then there's that whole other pressure that comes from being in ozeki. So.
Exactly. And then there's Shodai, which nobody expects Shodai.
Nobody expects Shodai. Even Shodai. Let's just be honest. To be fair to Shodai, I've been rooting for him this whole Basho. He is a lovely underdog.
Yeah.
I like him.
I like that little interview they did after he beat Hoshoryu as well. Because the little face, he was just so smiley and so happy.
He's had 2 interviews so far that I've seen anyway.
Yeah.
He's had 2 so far in this Basho.
Oh my god, I'm loving it.
All right, another notable bout from day 4 was Kirishima versus Abi.
Kirishima's her other boyfriend.
I got a lot of boyfriends.
I do too. Later I'll tell you a story of all of my boyfriends. My husband has we have an official list of my boyfriends, so.
Nice. Wait, Rikishi boyfriends?
Oh yes, Rikishi boyfriends.
Girl, we need to get together and just write some filthy smut about these boys because that is what the world needs right now.
It is what the world needs.
Anyway, Kirishima versus Abi on day 4. Abi was able to dispatch the new ozeki swiftly by coming at him with his trademark nodowas before grabbing the back of his head and flinging him down for the win. These new ozeki, man, they're just not looking too good.
Yeah, all the ozeki are just kind of having a...
They're all hungover from their newfound ozekiism, I guess.
It's true. It's the curse of the ozeki. You get up there, and then you have so many more responsibilities. It's a different game completely than being a Magashira or even the lower named ranks.
Like poor Takayumi, he made it up there and then just never had a chance to just hold on to it. He was just so injured.
Hey, you know who is an ozeki
absolutely.
for longer than Takayumi?
Who?
Shodai.
He was quite good at coming back from Kantoban status.
Yeah,
he was very good at that, and nobody ever gives him credit for it.
No, but they would say he's just gaming the system.
Good. They allowed him to.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to day 5. Why don't you tell me about the first notable bout from that day?
All right, day 5 was my son, Atamifuji, versus Tsurugisho. All right, so Atamifuji gets his one loss of week 1 of the Aki Basho from Tsurugisho. I don't know how that happened, but Tsurugisho, to his credit, has been looking really good the past few tournaments.
Yeah.
It's like his skills are like, he leveled up somehow.
Moving on to Myogiryu versus Hokuseiho, who is still kind of trying to figure out what this top-level sumo is all about. I really only chose to highlight this one because what the fuck was Hokuseiho even trying to do there? What sort of weird-ass quasi-headlock was that? Why did he even think that was going to work?
Yeah.
I've never seen a move
weirdest
like
thing
that.
I've seen.
Yeah. Like, it's like he didn't know what else to do. He was just like, okay, maybe I can choke him to win. Or something. No, it was just very bizarre.
So the next notable bout of day 5 was Kirishima versus Asonoyama. This was nuts. The newly minted ozeki versus the prodigal ozeki trying to climb his way back to his rightful rank. After swinging each other around for a bit, they lock up and start prodding each other for weak spots. They dance around a little more before locking up again, only this time it appears Kirishima has Asanoyama's right arm locked up. Hard to tell from the angle, until finally, Kirishima sweeps Asa's right leg from under him and dumps him backwards onto the clay for a Sorogake victory.
Okay, so Kirishima versus Asanoyama. What do we think of this bout?
I rarely ever expect the Sorogake when it happens. It's like there's so much going on sometimes with the upper body, and I just get so distracted. I barely have time to notice the sweeps until it's like the replay.
It was definitely very amusing to watch because they seem to be pretty evenly matched, but you don't really know who's going to win. But then all of a sudden, Asa's on the ground. That's one of the more memorable ones for me, for sure.
Asanoyama, he just doesn't seem like he's on his best right now because of that torn bicep.
Yeah.
When the injury first happened, what was that, like last Basho? He seemed to be doing okay with the torn bicep, but now it really seems like he's just kind of like, oh god, I don't know how much longer I could keep this up.
Well, because they never get enough time to heal between tournaments.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of just
Especially
have to fight
now.
through it.
Now
Yeah.
that there's Jungyo.
Because now they have Jungyo back again, which is great for the fans and good for outreach, but man, those boys need more time to rest.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, we are moving on to day 6. Day 6, first notable bout that I saw was Atamifuji versus Mitakeumi. The two Rikishi get locked up for a moment before Atamifuji starts driving Mitakeumi forward and then reverses and starts pulling him back until he's able to finally push him down and out. Atamifuji was declared the winner. However, a Mono-e determined that Atamifuji's heel touched outside the Tawara at the same time Mitakeumi landed. So, a Torinaoshi was ordered by the judges. So they go at it again. As Mitakeumi drives Atamifuji toward the edge, Atamifuji thrusts him down again. The win was again given to Atamifuji, but again, another Mono-e is called because it looked like the exact same fucking thing happened.
Oh my god, that's what I was about to say, is like, as soon as that happened, I was like, again?
Yeah, Atamifuji's heel kind of tipped over the edge of the Tawara, like at the same time-ish as Mitakeumi was landing. So after a short deliberation, the judges then decided, you know what, the Gyoji verdict stands this time. Watanabe victory for Atamifuji. And I also want to note that Mitakeumi looked like a very used and dirty troll doll after this bout. Like some little kid had been playing with one of those little troll dolls in their backyard for like years, you know?
He had all that dirt on his face and his like little chonmage was just sticking straight up.
And he looked mad.
He
was so pissed.
No, like super big mad. Like whenever they show him like walking down the Hanamichi and he was like throwing his sagari to like his skibito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that like that face he made when he threw it. He made the same face that like whenever I was in elementary school and like those little girls would get mad at you and then try to pinch you like with their fingernails like that.
I was one of those little girls.
They made that. He made that exact same face when he threw the sagari. I was like, that's genuine big man.
Yeah, just like that mean face. It's like, what did your little attendant do to you? Come on, man.
He caught your sagari.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that bout?
Man, I think you do cover that one, especially with the Hanamichi story. Dang. I missed that. I tend to watch on Abema instead of NHK, so I don't get those long haul shots very often.
See, that's what we do normally, like especially if we're watching like the live stream, or some of our buddies will actually watch the live stream, and they they have their own Twitch channels, so we could like always go back. Yeah. But this time we found Rumble, the Rumble app.
We've been chasing Nato around is what we've been doing.
Yeah. So
just like the rest of the internet.
Yeah.
I like to watch all of the different, like I'll even watch the NHK World, Grand Sumo highlights after, they come out, because I like hearing, the different commentators and hear their perspectives.
Absolutely.
This time, following Nato, I just love how much information that Nato compiles into all of the videos, and you can see, they faced each other this many times, and this is their physical stats, so you can see who's bigger than who.
NHK just needs to hire him.
Seriously?
They just need to hire
him
to do videos for them. So why don't you go ahead and do the next one for us?
All right. This was kind of, I was expecting a little bit more from the Midori Fuji versus Hokuseiho rematch. All right, the crowd was murmuring and gasping throughout this bout. I think everyone was expecting a repeat of their previous clash, where Midori Fuji, who is a foot shorter and more than 145 pounds lighter than Hokuseiho, threw the giant over his shoulder for a massive Shitatsunage victory.
That was last tournament, right?
Yeah, that was last tournament.
Yeah.
That was last tournament, yeah.
So that's not to say that the smaller man didn't try. Hokuseiho seemed to be expecting those kinds of short king shenanigans and nimbly resisted the throw. Both rikishi were at a standstill, where Hokuseiho used his overhand Frankenstein style to attempt to tire out Midorifuji. It was a slow and grueling chess match, but Midorifuji seized upon a critical moment and struck like a cobra, grabbing the front of Hokuseiho's belt and hoisted the big man over the bales for a Yorikiri win.
Yes! I feel kind of bad for Hokuseiho, honestly.
He needs to change up his Frankenstein style.
He's like an adolescent puppy. You ever had a puppy that, like, when they start to grow up, they're in between puppyhood and adulthood, and they just got kind of those gangly legs and stuff, and they're just running into things all the time, and yeah, that's what he reminds me of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I really think he just needs to bend his knees more. He just needs to drop his butt and get low, and there's going to be a whole lot more he could do, and he won't topple over if he's not just standing straight up like Frankenstein, you know.
I see that a lot in amateur sumo, too, where people just don't want to bend their knees, you know?
Cause I'm one of them. It's not that I don't want to, I just forget to.
Yeah, or forget, but... You just got to kind of get used to it, you know? And I'm surprised that Hakuho hasn't, like, been beating him with, I don't know, picking up Inho and beating him with Inho or some shit to, like, get that into his head.
Beating him with Inho.
I mean, no.
Or Kiho, probably Kiho.
Or Kiho, yeah. Nothing against Inho or Kiho, but the image in my mind was just funny.
Just picking up Kiho by his leg. Damn it, Hokuseiho!
Fuck it, both of them. Double fist that shit. Use them like nunchucks.
Oh my god. I can't imagine him doing it.
I told you lightweights are more exciting.
Exactly.
Any thoughts about that bout?
I mean, for me, I would say I wasn't disappointed. I mean, so Midorifuji is one of my boyfriends, just to throw that out there. Mm-hmm. But he's a little guy that will go chest to chest with the biggest of men, and he can, yorikiri them out of the ring. Took a while this time, but I mean, damn, to do that with someone a foot taller and that much heavier than you is just freaking impressive, even if it's not as dramatic as their last meeting, like, which I probably watched 10,000 times.
Oh yeah,
like I was just like, yes, my boy. But I mean, like, so Hokuseiho has so many smaller rikishi to train with too, because he also has Raiho, Kiho, Enho when he's mobile. So like, fighting little guys isn't something he's it's not foreign to him. It's not like a stable of giants only. So
yeah, what's his excuse? What is it? Yeah. I want to know. Like, it's become such a meme now, that like I want to solve this mystery. Why is Hokuseiho like that?
Yes. What happened to his very young knees that he can't bend them occasionally?
And I'm just very curious to know what Hakuho, Miyagano Oyakata is saying to him whenever he loses from not getting low or doing it. He's just like, what did I tell you?
You better not make me throw one of these tiny rikishi at you. Anyway. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to Kotoeko versus Onosho. This was a slugfest from the get-go. A flurry of harite that resulted in Onosho securing a belt grip and Kotoeko grabbing an arm and circling back in. Did this make Onosho panic? Probably. He lost his belt grip and tried to grab Kotoeko's leg, but the smaller man's momentum allowed him to thrust down the raging bull that is Onosho, with both men rolling across the clay, their legs flailing in the air.
I don't know why, but the legs, it's always like when the legs go flying, I just giggle. You can't help myself.
I imagine they're trying to do like breakdancing,
Yeah, Kotoeko for the windmill.
This isn't the breakdancing Basho. That's next month.
All right, so the next notable bout, what is this, day 6?
Yeah, we're still in day 6.
Yes.
Next notable bout of day 6 was the Battle of the Bears. Gonoyama versus Takayasu. So I was looking forward to this because I was I just hyped it up in my own head, because Gonoyama's been on fire and Takayasu is also this Basho on fire. So I was like, yes. Well, I think Big G might have gotten a little bit nervous. I think he just lost his footing and then just kind of got slammed down by Takayasu. He just, he just didn't have it this time, but that's okay. There will be more times in the future, but Takayasu definitely won this Battle of the Bears.
All right, we're going to move on to Tobizaru versus Wakamoto Haru, also on day 6. Tobi busted out some kind of weird level change Tachi-ai, intending to go low, but Wakamoto Haru was hip to his monkey mischief and pushed him toward the bales. Their combined momentum flung them both atop the Tawara, with both Rikishi hinging their battle on a one-footed contest of balance, where Tobizaru was the first to step off, giving Wakamoto Haru the win.
That was weird.
It was a bit weird.
It's just kind of funny because they're both perched. I want to get a screenshot of that where they're both perched atop the Tawara, like on one foot with their arms, all akimbo.
Like they're trying to do a tightrope walk or something.
Daisho versus
Daisho.
Ura. So this was fucking wild. So Daisho was Daishoing and Ura was Uraing. But the wily Prince of Chaos, Ura, managed to put his entire being into a push that drove Daisho out and spun Ura into the air, where he kind of did like a little horizontal spin.
I love it when he does that. I love it when he just like goes flying, like he's trying to keep off the ground as long as possible and just like does some sort of weird Ura magic.
It's almost like
fantastic.
It's like he has so much like tension or like a spring of energy just kind of like loaded, and if someone just kind of touches him, he just launches,
Right? He's like a bear trap.
A very pure bear trap.
Yes.
I love that he, like in all of the little sumo communities, that I've been frequenting during, all the bashos, I noticed that it's like Shodai, Ura, and Tobizaru people are calling the Lords of Chaos.
It's the trio of chaos.
They're always showing Ura wearing that eggplant costume.
Moving on to Kirishima versus Shodai. Speaking of catching air, Kirishima wasted no time in getting Shodai to the bales, where the ozeki flops him down in an unceremonious Sukui Nage, treating Shodai like a microphone at a bad poetry reading. Hoshoryu sends his regards.
I know, that's kind of what it seemed like, from from all the ozeki. It just kind of seemed like a red wedding moment.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Asanayama versus Hoshoryu. I was looking forward to this showdown.
Oh, yeah.
With Haas's ozeki debut being tepid as fuck and Asanayama's comeback slowed down by a torn bicep, I was wondering who would emerge the victor in this shit show. Hoshoryu got Asanayama in a precarious belt grip underhook combo, like right off the bat. Asanayama was driven to the edge, and Hoshoryu used massive centrifugal force to curl Asanayama into a horizontal roll where he fell to the clay, with Haas landing on top of him. Shitatenage.
Woo!
That was, he just really put some extra twerk into that throw, so not only did Asanayama just kind of burrito downwards, but Hoshoryu just kind of like shoulder slammed him, into the clay to add a little bit more insult to injury.
It's like, you're not coming for my ozeki spot. I like how you described him as burritoing down.
He did burrito down.
He absolutely did burrito down. I was just rewatching it as you were describing it. And man, he tried to makekai twice with his bad arm before he's thrown. I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, it's not working.
I know, especially with that bat. It just hurt to watch him do that. I was like,
yes.
As someone who has currently 2 arms that are in some pretty intense pain on a daily basis now, it hurt me too. I felt his pain.
Believe it.
We're going to go ahead and move on to day 7 now. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the first notable bout from that day?
all right. So the first notable bout from day 7 was Shonana Umi versus Kotoeko. What the actual fuck was this? Shonana Umi had Kotoeko circling the Tawara. Kotoeko applied pressure to the larger Rikishi's shoulder and swept the leg, Cobra Kai style.
Yeah.
Shonana Umi fell, forearm first, but the Gyoji called it for Shonana Umi. He clearly hit first, and he was the one in the unrecoverable position.
Yeah.
Kotoeko used a technique to cause Shonana Umi to fall forward over the bells. Why a mono-ii wasn't called is beyond me.
Everybody was expecting it. Kotoeko got fucking robbed.
Robbed.
Everybody was sitting there like, is there going to be a mono-ii? I think even didn't one of the...
In Japanese, you could hear the commentators like, mono-ii ga?
Yeah,
Mono-ii ga? And
exactly.
nothing. That was horse shit. Straight shit.
It was all kinds of different mammal shit. Mm-hmm. Kotoeko didn't deserve that.
I mean, okay, so I'm sure someone, say, in my sumo circle, say like John Trail, could go on and on about what technical rule they called upon to not need a mono-ii. But to me, I'm like, at least do a mono-ii so that you don't have people like us going, he was fucking robbed. Because you know what? He was.
Are these technical rules written down anywhere, or do they only exist in the minds of, like, the higher-ups? Like, how does that work? Because it
I'm
seems
pretty sure
to be
it's
very
option B.
randomly applied, yeah.
Yeah, because that
It is randomly applied.
Yeah. Like, if they were going to apply the dead body rule, that should have gone to Kotoeko. And if they didn't apply the dead body rule, it should have gone to Kotoeko.
Exactly.
Yes. At the very least, like, in moments like that, it's like, okay, I know it's not technically at the same time, but maybe we should just make them do it again. Like, no one's going to be happy with the call you're going to make right now, so maybe?
Exactly. At the very least, Tori Naoshi.
But,
Yeah.
no.
But no. The fate was just against Kotoeko that day, I guess. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to Tobizaru versus Meisei. Toby suckered Meisei into some further monkey mischief. They slap-boxed each other silly until Meisei accidentally stepped out of the ring after getting a slap from Toby's... You said slap a lot of times in that.
That's what happened, though. They were slapping each other.
It was a regular slap fest.
It just slaps. You know what? It slapped. No, not really.
I would say that did not slap.
But no, seriously, it just looked like that Meisei kind of got his bell rung a little bit and just kind of lost track of where his feet were because he got just kind of struck in the head, just boxed in the head, and then he kind of took a step back like he was about to brace himself, and then realized he's like, shit.
Oh well, it happens.
Yeah.
It was a slappy McSlap fest. It was
Slappy McSlap Fest.
All right, go ahead and tell us about Nishiki versus Hoshoryu.
All right, Nishiki versus Hoshoryu. Haas's vibes are off this Basho.
Oh yeah.
And Nishiki ain't doing too bad. The large, powerful, lumbering Nishiki maintained a low tachi and neutralized Haas's attack. He out-muscled the ozeki and pushed him over the bells by his neck. That was badass.
It was badass. Nishiki has really developed his lower body. So, like, in that bout with that lower tachi and his knees bent, he was just so stable against Hoshoryu that it was no contest in that bout. I was like, damn, boy.
I know.
Good.
It's like Hoshoryu's like, he had a plan and he had kind of like, the power there, but Nishiki just like absorbed it and just shook it off like it wasn't anything. It's like, you're like the buzzing of flies to me.
Yes.
Like, honestly, I do kind of have a sweet spot for Nishiki just because, like, he was one of the first Rikishi whose name I could remember when I first started watching sumo. So, I like it when he does good.
I can feel that. That's me and Daisho.
Yeah.
It was fun to say his name, and suddenly I'm like, yeah, go with Daisho. I'm like, am I really like a super Oshi fan? Not really, but you know what? Daisho?
He's good at it. He makes it look good.
Yes.
Now let's talk about Shodai versus Takakeisho. This bout had a sweetness to it. Takakeisho starts off with a mata. This didn't do anything to throw off Shodai. Takakeisho came off the tachi hot blocked. Throwing mad hands in a flurry of Supari, Takayasu hits and shifts, expecting Shodai to lunge and throw himself out with his own momentum. But Shodai, our Lord of Chaos, didn't fall for such trickeration. Takayasu slapped the absolute shit out of Shodai at this point, attacked low, then slapped him again. It was Shodai's turn to get low, and he drove exhausted Combat Wombat over the bales. Lord Shodai, a better ozeki than Mitakeumi could ever have hoped to be, and totally outclassed Hoshoryu, don't you forget. Fucking eat it. He's just slaying ozeki left and right, this Basho.
Oh yeah,
He is.
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And all of the people that always shit on Shodai, I'm just kind of like.
No, it's nice to have that. What would that be? Schadenfreude?
That's Schadenfreude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like watching that. So I just watched that bout again, and to me it looked like Takayasu was expecting a bout from his best friend Daisho. Like it was like the moves he would use against Daisho to just watch Daisho like plummet out of the ring on his own momentum. Like that looked like the game he was trying to play with Shodai. That's not what Shodai does. So it's like, what are you misprogram that a bit?
Put up his Oshi defense for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it could have just been Shodai's just that good.
I mean, yeah.
He was ozeki longer than Mitakeumi.
It's true.
If you forgot from like 10 minutes ago. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to day 8. Why don't you give us the first bout from that day?
All right. So, speaking of Mitakeumi, we have Takayasu versus Mitakeumi. This was a beautiful display of sumo from both combatants. Their massive strength caught them in a stalemate. Mitakeumi went for Papa Bear's leg, but Takayasu used that maneuver as an opportunity to circle back and thrust down the back of Mitakeumi's neck, sending him spiraling to the clay.
Nice. I love it when Mitakeumi loses. No. I really don't have anything against Mitakeumi.
Just some of his stands.
Yeah, because I could get into it, but I won't. Good job, Takayasu.
Nah, I think you guys got it on him.
All right.
I'm trying not to say anything bad about Mitakeumi. I'm like,
Oh, you certainly can if you want to.
Yeah, well, see, it's not that I have anything personally against Mitakeumi or his sumo or anything like that. Honestly, he's just a pawn in my sick game that I have with shit talking to other podcasters and other sumo fans and
the fantasy sumo leagues and
especially the fantasy sumo leagues.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, I think we should move on to Daisho versus Nishikigi. Daisho comes up from the Tachiai hard and heavy with a mean-ass Nodawa, applying enough pressure for Nishikigi to overcommit. Daisho then went for a pull-down where Nishikigi belly-flopped to the clay, and Daisho stepped over the bales. The Gunbai went to Daisho, but he was kind of unsure if he had won or not, and he turned to leave as if he had lost, but turned back around when he realized he actually won that one. He was in Sankyo about to accept the envelopes when a way delayed Monoi was called. Gunbai Dori, the Gyoji verdict stood, but that was still kind of weird.
Yeah. It's like, where was that the long delay Monoi that should have been with Kotoeko?
I know, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's like, geez, guys, whoever's in charge, I think it's like maybe they're fighting with like the video playback guy, because I know the video playback guy.
They do that a lot.
Video playback can only come into play if they ask him. Like, he can't just get on the mic and be like, "You dumb fucks."
It reminds me of that situation where oh gosh, I'm trying to remember who it was. It was Atamifuji and Tobizaru, where the Gyoji stopped the match because there was like a Mawashi.
Oh, that was Wakamoto Haru.
Wakamoto Haru, okay. And then they got so much shit for it that they started like overcompensating. I think maybe they might have experienced the same thing this time with, I'm hoping they did anyway, with the Koto Eko thing. So now they're like, well, maybe we should start calling more monois just in case or whatever. But who knows, really?
I mean, it absolutely happens. There are waves where they're like, the Gyoji are like, oh, well, we haven't really been calling them if all four hands of touch. And then suddenly they get really strict about it for like 2 or 3 days. Or like there was a rash of, mage pulls. And so like every other bout they were checking. It's like, wait, hold on.
I do remember that. Yeah,
they're
seriously.
overreactionary at times. So could be.
Not a lot of consistency, just all around.
Yeah.
Oh, so the next notable bout of day 8, Ura versus Hoshoryu. Okay, what the fuck was that, Haas? That was a bad Tachiai, and you should feel bad.
Yeah.
Ura, on the other hand, was in good form and snapped down the Shin Ozeki. So,
Yeah.
good on you, Ura.
Hell yeah. That was a short one. Any other thoughts on that?
That was a really good description of what happened. They go, and it's over. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and finish out day 8 with Tobizaru versus Takayasu. There was more simian chicanery from Tobizaru. For some reason, Takayasu went really high at the Tachiai, which empowered the flying monkey to outmaneuver the Ozeki. There was a flurry of blows and deft and agile shifts, and Tobizaru seized his momentum to blast Takayasu over the bales.
And he did blast him.
Yeah, blasted him real good.
Him. Honestly, the moment Takayasu leaves the dohyo and he's in the air and you see his little feet kind of wiggle as he's falling over, and it's like, dude, is he okay?
I know.
I mean, it takes him a second to get up, but it was like, oh, Toby, what did you do?
Oh yeah, that was the bout where he was kind of...
He's a little dizzy or
He
concussed.
looked like he was kind of dizzy, yeah. Yeah, it took him a minute to get back up on the dohyo.
I was kind of scared for a second because he was just face down for some seconds. I was like, oh shit. And everybody, I think in the whole crowd, even the Yobadashi were like, oh damn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he stood up and he was just kind of like... He definitely got his bell rung.
Yeah, it took him a moment to get his footing, but, he's tough. He was able to shake it off. Hopefully, he got a lot of rest that night and, recovered. All right, so that ends day 8. Since we're recording a day later than we usually do on these week 1 episodes, we're going to go ahead and talk about day 9 too, because fuck it, why not? It already happened. Let's do it.
Woohoo! Let's do it.
All right, so day 9, Daishoho versus Sarana Umi. Now, these are two guys that normally I don't really, give a whole lot of attention to, except Sarana Umi. He's Radana Umi.
Yes, in our...
He is Radana Umi.
In our...
Yes.
What do you call it? Our lore.
Our
the,
lore.
The Sumo Punx lore, that's who he is. He's Radana Umi, and he rides around on a skateboard with sunglasses.
And a flipped up hat.
Yes, and a flipped up hat. Okay.
I'm here for it.
Hell yeah. All right, so Daishoho versus Sarana Umi. This was a quick bout that ended with Sarana Umi using a pulling technique before slapping down Daishoho. The Gyoji called the bout for Daishoho because, from his vantage point, it looked like Sarana Umi stepped out while slapping him down. A monoi was called, and it was revealed that Daishoho belly flopped to the clay first, before Sarana Umi stepped out over the dohyo and fell to the floor. The Gyoji's verdict was overturned, and there was this cacophony of muttering from the crowd. Everyone was like, what the... I think the crowd's starting to get a little kind of testy about all of the bad calls this Basho.
Yeah. They're just not having it anymore.
I know.
And they're going to make it known.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, they're sold out all 15 days, so they're packed right now, so you're going to hear the muttering of people, so.
Oh, hell yeah. I love hearing, those, the women sumo fans, whatever, it's that dead silent moment before the Tachiai, and you could hear them, just screaming around, they're, going, Gorayama! And we'll be like,
Yeah, when I was... Oh, no, absolutely. I was there for Aki Basho, and right behind us were like 3 or 4 Maiko. And like when it was Takayasu up, it's like they had that perfectly timed. Oh, and it was just like...
Whatever you just said was so high-pitched that it just cut the audio completely.
That is a perfect rendition of a Maiko's voice. That's what you missed.
It's so high that only dogs can hear it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
It's hilarious because, like, and again, it's a part of like our weird lore. We always believe that the Rikishi are always like trying to put on their extra, you know.
They're trying to be like super good when like the geishas, or I guess in that case the Maiko. How do you tell the difference between a Maiko and a geisha? I think the Maiko have less lipstick, right? Or
there's a whole bunch of different rules, like of how their hair is dressed, what clothing they wear, the length of their sleeves.
Oh,
it's like sumo.
Only a casual observer of that part of Japanese culture, though. So yeah, exactly. It is like sumo. There are tons of little things that, unless you're really into it, you don't know. It's like, oh hey, yeah, that guy's at least in Makushita, because look at
yeah, he's got the Chonmage or whatever. Yeah, or not from Makushita, but yeah.
Yeah. But like looking like at his daily wear, like you can tell by what he's allowed to wear outside of the Heya. So it's just little things.
Yeah. Would they get offended if I referred to them as geishas instead of Maiko? Or would they just be like, oh, stupid Americans?
Maybe a little.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you're cute. You're trying.
Aw.
It's kind of like bless your heart, but a little different.
But yeah, we always imagine the Rikishi are like, oh, god damn it, don't make me look stupid in front of the geishas.
Yes.
I don't know. We have like all kinds of different like storylines about the Rikishi going on at all times.
And it's all in our own heads.
pretty much, yeah.
I mean, who doesn't do that, right? Come on.
Yeah, probably.
At least us who make, sumo content. Like, I think it's part of the job description.
We need to get together for this fucking fan fiction and the literal fucking fan fiction.
Yes.
We can make so much money. I don't know. Do people pay for fan fiction?
Oh,
no. They can donate.
Well,
they can donate.
Yeah. Maybe on like Wattpad or something.
We'll start a
Patreon.
Get something
going.
Hell yeah. We're going to do it. We're going to make smutty sumo fan fiction. It's going to be fantastic.
All right, honey, I can't work on my novel right now. I have smutty fan fiction to write. I'm sure it'll go over great.
Fucking priorities, right?
Just so.
All right, we're going to go ahead and talk about Chiyoshoma versus Hokuseiho. So we usually don't pay attention to Chiyoshoma except for comparing him to a specific Lord of the Rings character. But
he's Grima Wormtongue.
Yes.
Ooh. Yes.
By now, there are a few folks who have figured out how to hack Hokuseiho's Frankenstein style. But Chiyoshoma absolutely blew it. Hokuseiho has obviously been working on his balance and resisting throws, but poor Chiyoshoma lost his footing while trying to hurl the young giant and was toppled over and crushed by the force of a swinging Hokuseiho. Abise Taoshi win? Was that what it was? Abise Taoshi for Hokuseiho.
And really, it was just kind of Chiyoshoma getting crushed by the weight of his own hubris.
I mean, it's good to at least see Hokuseiho do something good,
he fell real good.
Yeah.
He did fall real good.
He's good at falling.
It's like, for Chiyoshoma, the king of Henka, it's like... when he does real sumo, which I have seen, he can do real sumo.
He does it occasionally, yes.
Occasionally, but it's just like days like this, it's like, what are you, what, no, wait. It's against Hokuseiho. He has these long legs, there's things you can do with them. Trust me, I've seen you do it, come on. But no, he just, lets Hokuseiho land on him instead of doing sumo.
Oh, I know.
I still gotta say, though, it's not as weird as that fucking headlock thing that Hokuseo did to, I forget who now, but yeah.
Myogiru? I think it was Myogiru.
I think it was Myogiru.
Myogiru, yeah, it was just so weird. Anyway, we're going to move on.
All right, so we are moving on to Kenbozan versus Atamifuji.
Your son.
My son. So today was the day that it had happened. My strong son, Atamifuji, seized an inside left grip on the Bozan's belt right at the Tachiai and ferociously drove him over the bales to secure his first Kachikoshi in the Makuuchi division.
Woo!
I am proud of my boy. That's my son. All right, the Bozan is just going to have to try harder next time. So I don't know, when I was writing this, I was just thinking the Bozan, like, like the Higgs boson.
Like the God particle?
The God part. So is Ken Bozan the God particle now?
Does anybody even remember that? I feel like that was a 2012 meme or something.
I think it might have been. Hey, I like physics, I can't help it. I'm like, oh, Higgs boson? The boson? The Higgs boson? Yeah, so yeah, he's the God particle now. That's just how I'm going to remember him.
Ken Bozan, the God particle.
Well, he's going to have to live up to that name then.
Well, yeah. Very true. Very true. All right, let's go ahead and move on then to Takayasu versus Kotoeko. The other co-leader of the Basho at this point, being Takayasu, he blasted through Kotoeko with the quickness and secured his Kachikoshi as well. So now both of the front runners have gotten their Kachikoshi. I think there's still the only two, right? There's nobody else? Okay.
Correct.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So that was completely unforeseen that they would be the first two to get their Kachikoshi and, hopefully be the top two until the end. But
well, that's actually going to be different tonight.
Yeah.
Mika, did you say you saw the Torikumi? Mm-hmm. And then
tonight it's Takayasu versus Atamifuji tonight.
Who do we think's going to get it?
I don't want to jinx nothing.
You don't want to jinx
it? If y'all want to make predictions, y'all can make predictions, but I ain't
Mika,
jinxing nothing.
Do you think it's going to be Takayasu or Atamifuji?
There's who I want it to be, but so I'm not going to say it because I'm going to feel bad if someone's, son doesn't get it, and it's just...
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We can move on to Abi versus Tobizaru. Why don't you go ahead and describe that one?
All right. Abi versus Tobizaru. Abi goes bowling for chimpans as he sends the flying monkey crashing into one of the judges. I couldn't quite see exactly which Oyakata it was, but he took a whole ass Tobizaru to the face.
Wait, a Tobizaru ass or an ass Tobizaru? Whole ass Tobizaru.
A whole ass Tobizaru ass.
But the ass didn't... Oh, the ass did go in the face.
I don't know. I didn't quite see if the ass actually struck the chimpan.
I need to know what was going on with this ass.
I will confirm momentarily. Okay, just know I need to know.
All right, if Tobizaru's ass...
No.
Was it just the front part?
Just the front part, I'm afraid.
Damn. All right.
Can you tell which Oyakata that was? That could have been such good
fuel for our smut. But anyway.
No, I can't tell who it is.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on to Gonoyama versus Takakeisho on day 9. I'm not sure what I was expecting here, but it wasn't for Big G to just get overwhelmingly blasted by Takakeisho. He certainly made sure this young bear of a man knows who the Ozeki is. Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
See, I am on the Big G train. I am a Big G stan. I like that guy. He's badass. But was that the first time that he faced Takakeisho? I can't remember.
I believe it is the first time since he's in Makuuchi. They may have met previously because they're only 2 years apart in age.
Probably in college. But yeah, Gonoyama, I think he might have just had a little bit of a mental thing going on there. Because normally he's so fucking powerful and he's just, he just doesn't give a fuck.
You know what it is? His head's being fucked with by everybody calling him gonorrhea. So everybody needs to stop calling that poor kid some sort of venereal disease so he can do gooder in sumo.
I've noticed some of the, because it's like Gonoyama, but like I hear people say Ganoyama, and it's like, don't pronounce him like that.
No, Justin on the Breakfast with the Basho, I was watching that yesterday, and he just straight up calls him gonorrhea.
And he even has like a little gif of like a little disease particle puppet thing that's like dancing around. He puts it on the screen whenever Gonoyama's up there.
No, I think the worst I've ever called Gonoyama was gonad yummy or something.
Oh god, I remember that.
I'm not going to call him a sexually transmitted disease, though.
Poor guy.
Anyway, go ahead and tell us about the next
kiddo.
notable bout for day 9.
That is, Kirishima versus Ura. Alright, so Ura is usually a wily trickster and a lord of chaos.
One of the trio.
He lured the Karaban Ozeki to the Tawara where he attempted to work some sorcery at the edge. While Ura's body was turned while trying to bust out an Uchari, Kirishima took advantage of the opening and Ura's balance and nudged him with his shoulder, which, for some reason, sent Ura flying into the air and spinning and just landing on his ass.
Again.
Just like Winnie the Pooh.
He is Winnie the Pooh. I say that with all love and affection, but like he is.
But he always goes flying and bouncing off of shit.
Yes.
Everybody says
Absolutely.
Winnie the Pooh. Has everyone just forgotten that 90s Gummy Bears cartoon?
Gummy
Because that's what
bears.
I always think of.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Everywhere.
No, we haven't forgotten. Don't worry.
Okay.
No,
I'll stop.
Winnie the Pooh.
Sure. Maybe people are getting the two conflated in their minds. I don't know.
Yeah, it's-
or
it's
maybe
a-
people really do need Winnie the Pooh.
His face is Pooh Bear.
It is very Pooh Bear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Maybe he's like some sort of bizarre love child between the two cartoon franchises.
Winnie the Pooh and freaking Gummy Bears.
Yeah, he's Gummy the Pooh. Oh wait, that doesn't sound good.
No. Go the other way. Pooh Gummy? No.
We're not gonna call him that.
Don't call him Gummy the Pooh. It's just terrible.
That actually reminds me of like an old story that I think I read. I think it originally came off of 4chan or something about the Oozy Goozy Man.
Oh no.
We're not going to talk
No.
about that.
That's terrible.
Abort.
People who know.
Abort.
Yeah.
All right. Last notable bout of day 9 was Kotonowaka versus Hoshoryu. Classic Mono-e scenario. Hoshoryu lost his balance while driving Koto forward. Kotonowaka was pulling Haas's arm toward him for a Kotonage arm lock throw. This resulted in Haas pushing Kotonowaka over the bales, but belly flopping himself. The playback shows that Kotonowaka's foot touched the slanted part of the doyo. At the same time, Hoshoryu flopped his meat. I would have called Torinaoshi, but the Gyoji's verdict was overturned, and Kotonowaka was given the win.
Horseshit.
You think so?
I thought that was horseshit.
Yeah.
I'm not the hugest Kotonowaka stan, or even really the biggest Hoshoryu stan, but that call was bullshit.
Yeah, it seems like Hoshoryu just can't catch a break this Basho. Maybe week 2 will be better for him, but we'll see.
Or maybe when he's got the Kataban fire under his ass.
Yeah, or that. Hello,
Hopefully
Kirishima.
something is gonna. Yes. Yeah, that did feel like bullshit. At least just make them do it again when it's that close.
I know, seriously. It
Right?
would have been, and I think the fans would have loved it too. I would have loved it.
Oh, yeah. Getting a second last bout of the night, like, come on. No one is going to be sad about that.
Right? Nobody's unhappy about more sumo.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I've watched it a few times today, and every time it's like, I truly don't see the moment where it was a definitive call.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we can go over it again and again and again. It feels like we're always saying, like, why do these judges make these decisions? But
I'm wondering if there's because remember when I said like we didn't recognize that Shinpan, and
yeah.
Kotonowaka's dad is like the head judge.
Oh, you've mentioned this before.
So I'm just wondering if was there some sort of conflict or some sort of weird whatever beef between Isegahama and what's his name? Is it Sotogake? I keep confusing Sotogatake and Sotogake. Like, the leg trip with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, my brain keeps confusing them. So I'm just going to say
So you're
Koto no
thinking
Waka's
of
dad.
Soro Takake Beya. So Soro Takake Oyakata.
Yeah. So Koto no Waka's dad, and I think Issei Gahama, because Issei Gahama had that whole scandal.
True.
And so that's why he had to step down as head judge, and now Koto no Waka's dad is like the head judge. And so did he change everybody out? Did he bring in like a whole new entourage? Did he say, no, I want to put my shimpans in there?
There are there were like new people who got elevated, because we have like Nisho no Seki Oyakata, we got Ajigawa Oyakata. They're both kind of new in the shimpan game. And they're in those final bouts. Well, at least Ajigawa was.
And
didn't see Nisho.
Yeah, I haven't seen him this Basho. I don't think did he do maybe like lower division judging? Maybe.
Yeah, I've seen him in lower division.
Did you watch any of Juryo?
Oh yeah. I actually tend to watch the lower ranks more often than Makuchi. I'll watch them on the review on the next day with NHK World. I'm in the Seattle time zone, so currently that ends at like 2 a.m. And, well, I will stay up for that, but my husband tries to have a slightly more normal schedule. Okay, well, we'll watch it together at lunchtime the next day.
See, for us, it doesn't start until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there, like, who are the Juryo Rikishi that you like to watch, that you root for and scream at the TV?
I mean, I've really been enjoying Kiho this last couple Basho. And then his name changed when he got into Juryo, and I keep forgetting his new Shikona, but that was Ishizaki. Oh, yeah. His new Shikona.
He's Asakoryu,
right?
Yeah. I forgot about that too.
I love my meatballs, and so he fits in that category. So.
What I love about Asakoryu or Ishizaki is like when he first got into sumo, when I first saw him, he didn't have the hair long enough yet. He just had that wild zanbara.
Exactly.
But he's just so buff. Like him and Miyagi were like the two little, just like little buff boys, just like.
No, you got to do it in a lower register because they're the little ones.
But.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely Kiho, and I've always been a huge like Kiho fan. I remember seeing some of his like college bouts. I was like, "Who's this wild little guy?"
I know, right?
And then of course, Ono Sato.
Oh yeah, he is the new rising star, Nishi no Sekibeya, right?
Yeah. So it's like whenever Hakuho, he's got who did he get like at the same time that got to Juryo was Kiho, and then what did they rename what's his name?
Hakuoho.
Yeah, Hakuoho. And what's the other guy? Muka Ina Kano. Well, his name's easier now, Tinshoho. But
yeah.
But yeah, all of these guys, like these Miyagi Beya guys, there's just seems to be like a whole crop of them. But Nisho Seki, he's got Ono Sato. He might just have just that one hardcore recruit, but he is a solid freaking recruit. And what is he about? Is he like a month behind like Hakuoho?
That is a good question.
Or not a month, but a Basho behind, I guess.
That sounds about right. Because, I know he did start at least a Basho. It might be a couple Basho. I don't have the sumo database open here, so.
Yeah, but it's something like that. But Ono Sato, I remember him, and this is kind of why he's, one of my favorites close to my heart. He's not one of my sons, but he's my nephew. But no, Ono Sato was, Daiki Nakamura at the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. He took gold in open weight, I believe, and then Hidatore Hanada got the gold in the heavyweight regulation division, and
then went and did football.
Yeah,
U.S. football.
Yep.
He's in Colorado, and I keep trying to tell people, get that boy some Mexican food.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Ono Sato, at the World Games was just so badass to watch. It's like, I really want to see if he, goes pro and see how well he does. And he is not disappointing at all. He's everything I thought he'd be. But
agreed.
Yeah, it's funny because he's just like the one quality recruit that Nisho Seki has. Hakuho has got his crop, but, Kiseno Sato has his guy. Even like named him a very similar Shikona. And
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did double check. So Hakuho has had 2 more Basho. But of course, he's sitting out this one because of the shoulder surgery in August.
I think that's the best course of action. He's already...
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
He had surgery on the other shoulder already, so now he's just got to get this one, and he'll be back to fucking knocking dicks in the dirt in
I'll
no
be
time.
back.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
If he gets down to Makushita, I have no doubts that he's going to just pop right back up to where he belongs in Makuuchi.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I did want to, I know we're gushing about our favorite Juryo guys, but I did just kind of want to at least touch on Juryo. We're definitely going to do a more complete portrait of Juryo, at the end of the Basho. But currently the standings are Onosato is in the lead. He is at 9 wins, 0 losses, and he is Juryo 14, that's pretty badass. And Ichi Yamamoto is a close second at 8-1 at Juryo 7. Chura Naomi, Juryo 5, he is at 7-2. Tin Shoho at 7-2. And then we got to this little crop of guys that are at 6-3. Tomokaze, Tohaku, Bushozan, and Shishi.
Shishi!
I love Shishi. He's just so happy and smiley, and I love watching those Ikazuchi Bea videos.
Even though he still has to practice winking. At least with one of his eyes. Was it the left eye? I think it's the left eye he was kind of having trouble winking with. Because he did it with the right eye first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on a
Sumo
Primetime video.
He tried really hard to wink. He was just kind of like,
You could tell he was struggling with it.
Oh, man.
It was cute, though.
Poor kid.
Yeah, he actually, and this always just, it kind of gets me, and I think it's the same reason that I just like Onosato so much. It's just because I kind of have like the whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. It's like, I know people that wrestled that guy in person.
Yeah. Nice.
And with Shishi.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah, Shishi he was at one of the U.S. Opens in L.A.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marky Nas from Appalachian Sumo Club. Like, he's like, yeah, but, when he was Surhei, he was like, yeah, I got to wrestle Surhei, and he's Shishi now. I'm like, just kind of made my fanboy.
No, I get it. Like, so I did some practicing with Takeshi. The amateur sumo folks will know who that is.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, oh yeah, he went to college with so and so, and I'm like, he. I've wrestled with someone who's wrestled with. Yes. So I feel it.
Yeah, and there was like Colton Runyon, who was actually one of the smartest, most intelligent human beings in any given subject that I've ever met. And also a pretty solid sumo tori whose tachiai is like a Mack truck. But he used to be, he went to college with Dayamami. And, yeah, so he got to wrestle him all the time. I'm like, oh, damn.
Of course, Hakuho, who was recently in Toronto,
I'm still mad about that.
And then we, our last episode, we got to talk to Brandon Rodzinski. Yeah, Brandon Rodzinski, who got drug up there by Matt Shields of Chicago Sumo. And they actually got to participate like in the demo with Hakuho at that festival they were at. So check out that episode if you want to know what happened there. Mika, any thoughts on Juryo stuff?
I've really, really liked what I've seen of Ichi Yamamoto, because like he had some injuries and then he fell down to Juryo and then he just wasn't looking good, and he's starting to look himself, and I'm hoping he'll be back up in Makuuchi at some point, because I know a lot of people kind of think of him as like an Abi light.
Yeah.
Like, he has a similar but not as well-defined style. But I don't know. I'd like to see him grow a little bit more. But his interviews also are just hilarious. He's one of those Rikishi who's like, you're not like super popular, but boy, do I just want to hang out with you and make like, he does like miniature, not Legos, but like the little nano blocks. He'll do like these giant nano block things. I'm like, I want to go nerd out and put together nano block things with you as you make horrible jokes. Come on.
His face is so expressive, and the way he laughs. Yes. I love that.
Yes. Yeah, he looks like a cool kid to play with. Like I said, I love Kiho. He's not doing spectacularly, but he's, hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do enjoy it since, unfortunately, Terutsuyoshi down in Makushita. Aku is now able to regain his salt throwing abilities.
Yes.
Because that was his thing before Terutsuyoshi came around. So, hasn't really given him a lot of luck. But...
yeah, someone has to have the mantle of the big salt.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I usually stop at Jiro every night. Makushita is usually where I have the most fun, but my true love, Aki Sayama, has retired, so there's not that impetus to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my inspirations. He was always one of my favorites to watch. It just sucked when he got his jaw broken, and that was just like, oh man.
And then he's like, no, I'm good, coach, I'm good. Let me just fight 3 more days or 4 more days without, getting it dealt with. And Soyakata eventually is like, no.
Just go to the doctor.
No. And like, oh yeah, just a broken jaw, And you probably had that before. Ishira did his haymaker of doom on your jaw. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, my poor buddy.
Any other notable things from Makushita you want to talk about?
So, people that I love right now, we talked about him a little bit earlier. We have, like, Miyagi. He's always a ton of fun to watch. Because it's interesting. He is just a ball of muscle. But, like, you see him on the dohyo, especially in person, and he looks tiny compared to the other guys. Like, because you'll see it at the top of Makushita especially. That's when a lot of guys are kind of at their heaviest. Because they're just trying to bulk to get to that extra little bit of weight, extra little bit of something to get them up to Jiro. Yeah, because that's, where the biggest change in their life is from Makushita, top of Makushita to the bottom of Jiro, right? And so that area is just always so exciting and so vicious. So Miyagi up there is always fun to watch. I'm trying to... I'm a horrible person. I haven't talked about Koto Tebakari.
Oh
no! So I lied. He's my favorite in Makushita right now.
Hell yeah!
He has some of the best Shiko in the game. Like,
he does.
If you think like Kiho's Shiko is good, go check out Koto Tebakari. He's Koto Shoho's little brother. They look similar but very different. And their sumo's completely different, too.
Oh, yeah. You could definitely tell by looking at their faces. Like, you look at them both and like, oh, yeah, they're brothers.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I remember whenever he was in Sandanme, and he still had that wild hair, and he's kind of curly, And he said it was so much, like, tinier, but I just loved watching him, go from, Sandanme is when he really caught my eye, just to see his growth. Yeah. It's pretty amazing, and I am super, super stoked to see, like, how far he can go.
Absolutely.
Oh, Waka Takamoto, for some reason, is starting to climb up.
Oh, he's doing great.
Yeah. Do you think he might actually join his brothers?
Oh, I want that so bad.
Or
just
replace
to get all 3 of them. Well, he'll come back. It's fine.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
But if all 3 Onami brothers, all 3 super Onami brothers were up there as Sekitori.
Yeah, just get them to be all... Yeah, just some sort of Sekitori. It doesn't matter what rank. Just all 3 at the same time. It would be amazing.
I think Mrs. Onami would just be like, my boys! It's funny, I see pictures of her, at the restaurant, and it's funny how much, like, right in the face, she looks just like Wakataka Kage. I think maybe a little bit more like Wakataka Moto, but definitely you look at her face, you're like, that's Wakataka Kage.
Yeah. I gotta pee. I'm gonna be quite honest. I have to pee. So, if we have anything else to talk about, we better do it now. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Mika?
Like, going back, we circled around it a bunch, but like amateur sumo, especially in America, is growing, right? But please, if you're a lady who thinks it might even be remotely fun to try once, please find your local club and try. Because boy, do I want to fight more women.
Hell yes.
It is tough at times. Like, I know you guys down in Dallas tend to have more ladies than the rest of the United States in each club.
It took a while.
So I'm rather jealous.
Yeah.
Just
I tried, but my bones hate me,
yeah.
so unfortunately it's just not something I can do. But yeah, any ladies, fucking do it, man. I think a big hurdle is the perception of what a sumo wrestler looks like versus the patriarchal standard of beauty that is put upon women in our society, and that sort of cognitive dissonance or whatever just kind of makes a lot of women avoid it, but which is unfortunate. But there have been some really fucking badass ladies that have started doing sumo just in like the past year here in the U.S. Like you have Itan from Dallas Sumo Club.
Yeah.
Holy shit, is she a beast? You have Madison.
She looks so strong.
Oh, yeah. Madison, she's officially a member of Shogeki now, or... Yeah, Madison from Shogeki Sumo Club down in Houston. Her first time doing sumo ever was at the it was a tournament in Houston. Which one was it? It was the Houston Open. And I actually got to kind of sit down with her and interview her a little bit about her experience. And she was like, yeah, no, it was fun, but I don't think I'm going to do sumo anymore. I just wanted to try it out. And now look at her. She's going to Japan for the World Championships. She's also a huge badass. She has a lot of like wrestling background, grappling and stuff. Of course, you have Kellyanne out there in LA.
Christina,
the Jones sisters. Christina, yeah, fuck me. How can I forget Christina Jones in San Diego with Honishima?
Yeah, she's going to Japan.
She is too. Fuck yeah, man. There's so many awesome ladies that are already in amateur sumo that I'm hoping that fact will entice other ladies to try it out, because it's this weird kind of dynamic where the more women we have in amateur sumo, the more women will want to join amateur sumo.
Absolutely.
It's just getting them there to begin with. So I always tell, especially lady folk or, anywhere adjacent to that, if you are even remotely interested in it, try it out. Worst case scenario, you decide it's not really for you, and then you just move on with your life. Best case scenario, you get to be a part of a community that is so positive and so welcoming and just so fucking cool. I don't know. I feel like I'm gushing now.
Good. It's your turn to gush.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. You said it so well. I mean, when I was in Scotland, it's like, I've never met any of these people, and they're making sure I'm okay. Yeah. I forgot my mouth guard in my hotel room. Now someone's driving me back to my hotel so I can grab my mouth guard because somehow that fell out of my bag. Like, it's an amazing community. And like, even when I did sumo for the first time with Rain City Sumo, I was like, okay, well, it's a bunch of guys. How much machismo is going to be, like, in this group of guys? Like, I was like, oh, wait, no. They're all really cool. And even with the men, it's like that you don't have that really, like, macho, machismo, toxic masculinity bullshit that you do with a lot of other sports, especially martial arts. You know? Exactly.
And that's what has really made, one of the big things that's made me, stick with maybe not being able to do it myself, but like trying to be as much of a part of amateur sumo as I can.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Very good that you brought that up, because we definitely don't need to forget that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I thought of something.
Yeah.
And before we sign off and all that, where can people find you on the internet, and where can they find your projects?
Yeah.
Okay, the easiest place is mikagrimmer.com. That's my author page. Also, basically on any social media, Instagram, Twitter, it's all Mika Grimmer. I try to post my writing projects and publications, but honestly, they're about 90% sumo. Maybe 95%.
Same.
She's got her own fancy website and everything.
That's badass.
It's very basic, but it does the job.
And then the World of Sumo, and that is on the YouTube?
World of Sumo on Yeah, so on YouTube, World of Sumo, and then on Facebook, we have a group that's, I think, 19K strong. And so that's just a Facebook group that talks about sumo, posts updates. It is a group that doesn't believe spoilers exist, so if you join during a Basho, make sure to mute if you do not like spoilers, but otherwise, come have fun, play. It's a good group, and there's tons of old hands there that know sumo better than you can ever imagine.
Definite meeting of the minds.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm in that group, and I've definitely learned things there. We also have a Facebook group, Sumo Punx. I think there's like maybe 50 people in it right
Yeah.
But,
Well, then I will have to join tonight because I didn't know you had that.
Hell
yeah.
We're super underground on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. So underground that nobody's joining our group. But thank you so much, Mika, for joining us. It was super fun, and hopefully you can join us again sometime in the future. We love to have
Heck
you.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, see you then. But you guys have a good night.
You too.
Thanks for having me.
We're on the internet. You know where to find us. I don't know if we're going to still be on Twitter now that they're going to be charging, apparently.
Yeah,
Maybe
if
that's
they-
just another crazy whim of the...
Yeah, we'll
dude in
cross
Twitter
that bridge
thing.
when we come to it.
Yeah, but we're on all the other social media, Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. It's Sumo Punx, spelled with an X. If you do want to try to find us on Twitter, it's Punx Sumo. We also have 2 stores that you can check out with a few of our designs on there. One's on Redbubble, one's on TeePublic. All you have to do is search for Sumo Punx. And if you like the episode, give us a 5-star rating. It helps other people find it and enjoy it as well.
And if you're listening to us on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Yeah! All right, well, that's it for now.
Bye.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye! Bye! It's like those Mycos.